everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are back for another brand new video. You'll know by that title we're going to be talking about the Rangers player ratings for their loss versus bottom of the league Dundee. You're probably thinking, why are we not streaming this with me and my main man Snags? But Snags is actually busy today and I'm actually busy tomorrow, so we can't actually find a time to actually stream it. So I thought, you know what, let's bring them a quick little video for you guys just to get involved. It'd be awesome if you could smash the like button, subscribing if you're brand new, as we're chasing that 11k target. Every like and every comment does genuinely help. So get involved, let me know your player ratings, and yeah, let me know how you're feeling the day after a loss. Obviously, when I react to the video, it's right away, so that's why I'm very aggressive and angry. The next again day, I'm going to try and explain why I'm giving these ratings. I'm going to try my best anyway, but yeah, let's get into it. So we ran a 4-4-2 situation, but Kenny Miller made sure that wasn't a 4-4-2. Okay, we were against a 3-5-2, so obviously the 4-4-2 would have been very helpful, but Kenny Miller screwed that up for us, but I'll get there later on in the video. Start off with the goalkeeping position. Now, it is a tough one for Firningham. We did make one good save from a long distance effort from a Dundee player. I can't say his name and I'm only going to try and pronounce it. Okay, I can't say Morelos. Okay, so I'm not going to try and say Bakatalu. Alright, that's it. So Firningham, I gave him a 4 out of 10. The reason I gave him a 4 out of 10 is it was a very... It was an annoying game for him. He made one good save. He didn't get called upon too many times, but both goals were like their only other shots on target. So it's hard to give a goalkeeper props when the only 2 shots on target were goals. I don't necessarily blame them for anyone. Maybe the first one when it was a corner, maybe he could have came and claimed it, but that's a bit of a distance. So I'm actually going to give Firningham a 4 out of 10. Genuinely still think he's a very good goalkeeper, but again, that's another game where he's been called upon only a handful of times and he's not made a save. Moving on to the right back, and it's going to be Tavernier. Tavernier had another okay game, so I'm actually going to give Tavernier a 5 out of 10. Little spoiler alert, that's probably as high as we're going to go in this video. I didn't think he was influential as offensively as he normally is. I was quite disappointed with him. Whenever we lose, if you go back and look at it, it's always the games Tavernier's kind of got a leash on him. It just didn't look as offensively great in this one, which really bothered me. He wasn't getting up front a lot of the times. I think it was maybe to do with Dundee's 3-5-2 formation that was keeping him pinned back. But yeah, that could be something we could look at maybe in the future and figure out how to unleash Tavernier, because when he plays well, Rangers play well. When he struggles, we struggle very badly offensively. Let's move on to Ross McCrory. What's the story? I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. I was going to give him a 4 there, but I have written 4, but I think that was just after the game. I didn't think he'd done too much wrong. Yes, with the first goal, it could have been, again, like Firningham, maybe he'd been a bit more assertive and went and just won the ball, because it was one of those scrappy BS goals we seem to concede. But overall, I think he had some nice movement. He also was heavily involved in the setup for our goal, which I think boosts him up a little bit from the 4 to the 5. Now that I went back and watched the game again. Yes, I've watched it twice. Yes, I know. Dedication. So that's why I'm going to give him, instead of a 4, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. He was heavily involved in our goal, even though he did have a knock at the time. But again, this is all part and parcel of young defenders. So they're going to have good games and they're going to have bad games. But yeah, stick with him, keep him playing, and he will only get better for Rangers. The more games he plays, the better he's going to get, and the better it's going to be for Glasgow Rangers, which is always our main goal here, being Rangers fans. So moving on to Danny Wilson. Danny Wilson's a bit of a tricky enigma, isn't he? Because I don't think he's necessarily doing too much wrong. Again, clearance-wise in the first goal, second goal, I think that was more DJ's fault, but we'll get there. What I like, and I know it was picked up on by Tom Miller on Rangers TV and also Alan McCoy on BT Sport, he's very commanding. Like, he speaks a lot, he's shouting to players. We've not actually had a vocal leader like that in the defensive area, because you think Lee Wallace, obviously, who's the captain, who's kind of known for not being too talkative. Danny Wilson talks a lot. And I mean a lot. So I like that. And he also had a beautiful, I've written in there, a 55th minute pass. 40 yards from just inside his own half, right out wing, which almost set up a goal. So that was good as well. His distribution's always been good like that. With that in mind, lads, I've got to ask the question. Does Bruno come back in for him? Has he done enough wrong that he needs to be replaced? Interested to know what you guys think about that one. Moving on to DJ. DJ's even harder. How do you rate that performance? So good going forward. One of our best attacking players, if not the single best. But defensively, so poor the whole night. Heavily at fault for the second goal that we conceded, because he was just nowhere near there. So I'm actually going to give DJ a 6 out of 10, which is actually going to be the highest so far. But it could have been higher if he just tightened up his defensive work, especially for that second goal. Great going forward. Looks like we've got another one that can't really defend too much. But again, That was a wee bit disappointing, but overall his performance was okay. Right, let's talk about the midfield now, and this is where I'm going to start getting Andrew, because yes, in defence we conceded 2 goals, but I blame the midfield and our offence for a lot of our struggles, especially our offence, to be honest with you, because we create the chances. We genuinely create the chances. It's our midfield that's not distributing the ball well enough, and it's not our offence that is scoring the goals. So we can point blame at McCrory and Wilson if he's want, but we all ken what's the problem. We're not scoring enough goals. So, talk about Candias, so I'm going to give Candias a solid 3 out of 10. Mr. Player of the Month, September. It's November now, and he's playing crap. I just want to give you a wee like trip down memory lane. The Motherwell game, right? I think it was 1-0 at the time, or maybe even 2-1. I can't remember, but it was a key point of the game, right? We had 2 players open versus 2 Motherwell players, and Candias had the ball. What did Candias do? Cut inside, shot 30 yards over the bar, right? I want you just to remember that wee flash image, right? Let's go to the Hamilton game. All those wasted, low-driven crosses where he didn't adapt, right? Let's talk about the Dundee game. All those terrible corners. We were all laughing at Twitter. We're like, we need to get him off corners. Then it started to get serious when we went 1-0 down and he was still on them. So that's poor management. That's the players haven't got any bottle. Because if I was a player in that team or anyone with a stones, where I went, no, Candias, let me take this one. But nobody did. They let it continue to happen. Terrible performance. And again, when we had 4 players in the box, sorry, at 2-1 down, what did Candias do? Hit a ball 50 yards too high, the cross. So he's got terrible composure. He's great when everything's going well. Even when we're drawing, he's pretty good. But when we're losing and we need someone to step up, he's just not got the ball just now. Hopefully it gets better. But yeah, that was a poor game for him. And it's by far... I love Candias. I always give him high ratings. I think his work rate and everything's special. But I'm starting to see a wee bit of pattern now. So he's getting a 3 out of 10 for me. Ryan Jack, who's the next midfielder. Now, Jack's a hard one because I did think he was probably the man of the match, even out of both teams, if I'm being honest with you. Tom Miller was talking him up. Ian Durant was as well. Alan McCoy's and everything like that. We're all giving him props during the commentaries of the games. Ryan Jack, I'm going to give a solid 7 out of 10, which is obviously going to be the highest out of the entire team. The reason is he almost scored with a shot. He set Candias through one-on-one with a beautiful no-look pass. I don't know if any of you saw it or paying attention, or you're just seemingly forgetting that because you don't like Ryan Jack. Set Candias through. If we scored that goal, we were 1-0 up in the first half, and who knows what could have happened. Apart from that, yeah, he done all the dirty work. Windass shout out 50-50. Jack didn't, so I like that as well. So Jack's going to get my man of the match, and he's going to get a 7 out of 10. It'd probably be higher if we won the game, but I can't give anyone an 8 or anything like that when we lose the game. Not for Rangers. Jason Holt. It's a difficult one. Really struggled in that second half, especially with the 5-man midfield of Dundee. I thought for the first 15-20 minutes he looked good again. He looked like he was going to be one of our best players on the field yet again. But to be honest with you, Kamara and McGowan really took him out of the game. Overly physical with him and absolutely bossed him, unfortunately. That is a downside, is the physicality. And I think that really struggled him. Great management by Dundee, especially Billy Dodds, to notify that and see that and obviously practice that. Just took him out of the game. So I'm actually going to give him a 5 out of 10. Maybe even a 4. But yeah, I'm going to give him a 5 because that first 15-20 minutes looked pretty good. Right, moving on to Joshua Windass. Josh Windass is the most confusing player of all time. You get players like Barry Mackay who has a 10-1 game, a 6 the next game. They're inconsistent per game. Josh Windass is inconsistent per 10 minutes within the same game. He'll have a great 10 minutes, a bad 10 minutes. A great 10 minutes, a bad... I've never seen anything like it. He's got the genuine quality, and I still back him all the way because I genuinely think he's going to be a great player for us if he continues to be given the chance. Scored a wonderful goal again. I don't care if I'm going to be overly critical with this one, even though he did score. I'm going to give him a 5. I thought him and Miller just ran into each other a lot. It was so weird. They just never knew where each other was supposed to be playing. And yeah, it definitely hurt the team. Obviously picked up a booking as well. But yeah, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. That is the midfield. Before we move on to the offense, I'm going to give you a few seconds to fire in your scores while I get the sponsor break going. I'm CJ. That's Rocky. This is Sponsor Breaks. What we on today? Apple and mango. Sparkling. So that's great. Sponsor break! I kind of fizzed up my nose a wee bit, lads, not going to lie. So hopefully you guys are firing your comments here, and let's get to the offense. Our attackers. I'm going to talk about Morelos first, and the reason I'm going to talk about Morelos first is obviously he did pick up a knock. He kind of speared the post if you missed it. I don't know if I can give him a rating if I'm being honest with you. He played 40 minutes, which is still a significant amount of time, but he did go off injured. I'm going to give him a 5 because he looked like he was running about. He had a long shot, really unluckily. He almost sneaked in the front post. A couple of ones where he maybe could have scored. Again, with the back-faced header. If he was a bit more composure and just waited for the ball rather than rushing towards it, he could have maybe banged that one in really, really easy. And also, when there was an opportunity, when he'd done very well, he won the ball in the Dundee box and he hit a terrible pass in. He had 3 players. He had Windass and Miller and Jason Holt at the edge of the box. I think he tried to hit Holt in the edge of the box and he just messed it up. So that's why I'm going to give him a 5. Herrera though, who I will speak about, who big, sexy, too sweet, but we're all excited to see play. Miller, I know you guys were picking up in the comments, there's a divide in the squad, and it's clear there's a divide in the squad. Miller, Herrera do not get on with each other. Miller just wouldn't pass it to him. There was a time when Miller had the ball when there was 3 in the box. Herrera was at the back post versus the left centre back, who his name is Meekins. 1-on-1, could have just floated up and maybe could have won the header. But what did he do? He stopped, he waited, and he passed it along outside the box, which was terrible. So Herrera, I'm going to give a 4. I could have went a wee bit lower because he wasn't necessarily involved in the game as much as Morelos was, but I genuinely think there's a divide in the squad, so I can't be too critical of him if I'm being honest with you. So 4 out of 10. Kenny Miller. Craig, you said he was flopped. Did you see? He scored 2 goals against Hearts. You're wrong. Kenny's back. It was all Pedro's fault. Where's he been since Hearts? Danny's Kenny Miller role. There was a stat that came out by SPFL Radar, I believe, or SPFL Report, one of them, and it said that Kenny Miller in the last game against Hammond was less involved than Fordingham with the ball at his feet. Is that not just fucking crazy? Honestly? Are you kidding me on? But let's talk about this game. No, last week. We done last week. 1 out of 10. A 1 out of 10. He was dreadful. By far the worst player on the park. He was playing left mid, left wing, centre mid, left back. We had 2 men at left midfield. I've never seen it before. And Windass, there was a point where Windass was like, what's going on? So Windass went in the middle. And it just never worked. When you're playing against 3 men in the defensive areas, obviously it was Herrera around about that time, you've got to create the space for him. Otherwise, their 3 centre-backs will just crowd him out. And it's obvious what to do with 3 men at the back. But Kenny Miller, instead of running about offensively to drag the space and create gaps, he just went about the midfield. Just left Herrera to do it himself, left Morelos to do it himself. Pathetic performance. And the fact that he lasted 90 minutes scares me. Genuinely. 1 out of 10. And that's me being generous. And let's actually talk about the last substitution that came on, and obviously that was Young Hardy. Didn't get too long to influence the game, substituted on far, far too late, so I'm not going to bother giving him a rating. Let's move on to the manager situation. Murray, it's hard to give him a rating because he's a development manager. There's a big step up. I know the SPFL, you call it tin pot leagues and everything like that, right? But there's a massive difference from managing in the top flight than being a development level manager. And it's shown that. It's no his fault. This isn't a situation, it's completely the board's fault. I see Bears calling each other out and arguing on Twitter and arguing with each other and everything like that. It's the board's fault, lads. It's no Murty's. It's no that, right? Murty's doing his job as best as he can. He's not a top flight manager, and it's clear to see his substitutions. He doesn't influence the game quick enough. I'm going to give him a 6, and that's a very generous 6, I'm honest with you. Could have made some substitutions, but he kept Kenny Miller on the park. I don't know if he's too scared to take him off. I know he done all the talking and everything. Oh, I knew I could be manage Rangers when I took Miller off. Then why is he still on? That is my player ratings, lads. Hope you didn't get involved with them as well. Rocky Boy is sleeping over there. I've been Siege Novo 92. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.